Today in the Rose Garage, we're talking brakes, and I'm talking about this Flyin Miata little big brake kit for the NC. So the kit from Flyin Miata utilizes some of your stock parts from the NC and some aftermarket parts. And I think this is really smart to keep the cost down. The NC comes with a pretty decent sized front rotor already from the factory, but it comes with your standard single piston caliper. So Flyin Miata decided, let's keep what's good, decent sized rotor, low cost replacements, things like that, and went with a nice stiff Willwood caliper. So they offer this in a 4-piston setup, which is what you see here, and then you can also upgrade to a 6-piston setup as well. I followed their recommendation and went with the 4-piston based on the fact that I am more of a time attack car. You're going out for a couple laps at a time, not 20, 30, 40 minute races, typically in free air. So part of the reason I wanted to go to this kit is my previous braking setup was RX-8 brakes, which is a very common bolt-on for the NC, and then they're really big. But the problem with that is they also take a lot of time to get up to temperature. So in a time attack session, typically you're going for an out lap, and that next lap through is usually your best chance. The tires are in the best window, usually less traffic, and get yourself a nice gap. What I was struggling with was getting enough temperature in the RX-8 brakes on that out lap. So you go into the first couple corners and the brakes just weren't there like you wanted them to be. So this kit, my strategy was to eliminate that concern. We might have went a little bit too far. There will be some track recap maybe at the end of the video. But overall, the performance is a dramatic improvement. The pedal feel is great. I used to own a FK8 Civic Type R, amazing brakes from the factory, and when I first felt the pedal with this setup, that's kind of what it immediately reminded me of. So good firm brake pedal, very easy to control and modulate. Very unlike the RX-8 setup if you have that on your NC. We're going to get in the box from the Flyin Miata little big brake kit. So here we're looking at the front setup. So this is the 4-piston Willwood option. They do have a 6-piston option, but per their recommendation and to save some weight, we're going to try the 4 pistons first on my car. Get a nice bag of hardware. Gonna get these custom brackets to adapt the Willwood calipers onto your Miata spindles. Custom brake lines to go with them. Even include a little hose to help you bleed the brakes when you get it all installed, and print out their instructions. You can access these instructions online, but it's always nice to have a set printed in the garage so you're not getting your greasy paws all over your laptop or phone. So that's appreciated. A lot of people don't always include the instructions, and can be a pain. The kit comes standard with some Willwood brakes, brake pads. I don't know much about them. I'm sure they're perfectly serviceable for your street car, but of course we are going to pair this setup with some extra goodies from Hawk. So we got a set of Talon rotors for the NC Miata. These are the stock size. These are just the slotted option. Hawk sells these in just slotted or drilled and slotted. So for heavy track duty, definitely rock just the slotted. And then we have some DTC 30s and a set of DTC 60s. So I'm going to start with the 30s with these Willwoods up front. And if we think we need some more heat tolerance, we'll move to the DTC 60s. Going to do some testing later with the brake temperature paint and see what range we're in, and go from there. So again, this is the front kit. You can purchase just the front from Flyin Miata, but yeah, really nice. Seems really straightforward, and should drop a decent bit of weight and add some better control. So that's the front kit. We're also putting the rear kit on. So the rear is very similar. This is a little bit smaller Willwood caliper. So not a huge difference, but a little bit smaller in the back. comes with brackets. These are the radial mount, which is kind of cool. So same setup there. You get your pack of bolts, custom set of lines. You know, again, they throw the brake tube in there. And then this kit's also nice. It throws in hardware to keep your parking brake. So pretty nice that you can retain that function and still have a nice 4-piston caliper on the back of the car. So again, same story here. Pairing this with some DTC 30s in the back and the Talon rotors. This Flyin Miata kit does not use the stock NC rotor. It uses a rotor from the Mazda CX-5. So surprisingly, Hawk does make a set of rotors for a Mazda CX-5. These are just solid rotors. This is the only option they sell them in with the holes in it as well. So we'll see how these do under track conditions, but being in the rear should be a little better for having the drilled. So anyway, yeah, really nice kit, really easy to understand, and looks pretty simple solution to bolt these onto your car. Okay, I got one side of the car done. I was gonna film some of the steps, but honestly, these Flyin Miata instructions are so good. I mean, I don't think there's really anything I can add. The only tricky part on the front is you need to grind away just a little bit of your stock knuckle. Try to get a better picture of that. The rear, I was a little intimidated by the parking brake setup when I read through the instructions, but honestly it's really simple. And then the rear is completely bolt on, no grinding, no anything like that. So your rear caliper, you put these little pins on to act as your parking brake, and that's what that looks like when it's all installed. This is side number 2, and this is kind of what you need to do to clearance the knuckle to get the new calipers on. So it's not bad, it's not that much material. Kind of just chamfer it off, and it seems to work out pretty good. I just used, honestly, a angle grinder with a sanding disc seemed to work the best. Not bad. Just keep in mind, you know, you might have to do more or less just depending on the variation of the parts from the factory. But for me, not bad. Just a little chamfer, and seems to be pretty good. After the first day on this new low wood setup from Flyin Miata, performance is really great, and the pedal feel is just an amazing improvement. Yesterday I had these paired with some DTC 30s. They got a little too warm, so today we're putting DTC 60s on the front, and see how those perform. But yeah, if you're looking to improve that pedal feel on the Miata, this is definitely a way to go. Easy install, and performance is really good. This is the rear setup. So this uses that CX-5 rotor, which is a little bit bigger than stock. Performed well yesterday. It's solid, but didn't really get any warp or anything. The little 4-piston back here. This parking brake setup, really nice, works well. It's a little bit weaker than stock, but it's plenty sufficient to do what you need. So got this paired with a set of DTC 30s in the back, and they seem totally happy back here as far as temp goes. But yeah, really happy with this kit. Very nice stuff. So after getting this set up out on the track, I think it's a great option for anyone with an NC that's going to see heavy track use, or if you're just looking to, you know, upgrade your street car, you know, no worries there either. What did we learn when we were out there? Great initial temperature, great initial bite. This really alleviated my concern with the RX-8 brakes as far as like trying to get heat into them and then having a very consistent pad performance over the course of a session. So this took care of that. Over the fifth, sixth lap of the session, we definitely started to test the limits, the heat range of the DTC 30 brake pads we had on here. So checking with the rotor paint here, we maxed out the gauge. So I think the max is maybe 1500 degrees, and we were well into that range on the DTC 30s, which is a little bit much for those. They were still working fine, no failures or anything like that, but not in their ideal operating conditions. So we swapped them out to a set of DTC 60s, and I think that's a really perfect combo. So we were in 60s in the front and 30s in the rear, and worked great. So rotor's still getting pretty warm, but the 60 can handle it. And that initial performance, there was basically no change. It was still really good on the first lap. So we paired this setup with Hawk Talon rotors. So thankfully for the NC, they sell a set of just slotted rotors without the cross drilling. So no concerns of cracking, anything like that. If you're looking for a good rotor to pair with this setup, definitely check out these Talon rotors. They've treated me well over the past 2 seasons. All right, and that's about it for this video. So again, check out Flyin Miata if you're interested in their braking upgrades for your NC. If you have any questions about Flyin Miata, the products, or the Hawk products that we were using on the NC, let me know in the comments. And as always, go check out those guys, hawkperformance.com and Flyin Miata's website.